Well, I guess we're gonna have to just get rolling.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of the N.E.W.S, or the National Esports Weekly Spotlight, where we're gonna go over anything interesting that happened esports-wise for the last week. Highlights, clips, roster changes, wins, losses, upsets, anything that our esports passionate people may want to hear about. And we have a bit of a lucky week for this being our first week because we had a lot of stuff happen last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to touch on ESWC last because it's the thing that we're probably going to talk the most about. And also
I'm sorry, what did you just call it?
ESWC,
What is ESWC?
Esports World Cup.
It's just EWC, buddy.
Is it? I've always known it as
It's
ESWC.
EWC.
No way. Hold on.
It's EWC. It's EWC.
Oh, it is EWC. You're right.
Yeah,
I'm wrong.
yeah.
Okay, EWC. That's crazy because I swear all the watch party stuff that was posted was all posted as ESWC.
No,
Okay,
was it?
EWC then. Esports World Cup. But before we do EWC, something that you don't know as much about, Supernova. ESWC is what it used to be called back in the UNC days. Thank you, Kai, for having my back. Supernova 2026, which is probably the biggest Melee tournament we've had of the year. I'm pretty sure this is the tournament that is formerly known as Super Smash Con. I don't follow Ultimate very much, so if you're a viewer who is interested in Ultimate, I apologize. I will learn more so that I can better cover it in the future. And the results for this year, Cody Schwab, formerly known as IBDW, in first place. Zane got second, which are our two very, very comfortably best two players in the world. Cody winning this tournament has people considering him a solid lock for number one in the year. They have been in contention for most of the last 2 years when they've kind of distanced themselves from the third place back as far as power rankings go, and have kind of flip-flopped back and forth. But this win over Zane at Supernova pushes Cody pretty far in the direction of being first. But what I want to talk about the most is Rap Monster getting third. So Rap Monster is a very, very young Luigi player who came out of nowhere towards the end of last year. He's like 18, and he had been playing through high school. He graduated, and he decided to make a big push, and has been getting some like tertiary results, like just on the edge of having a big breakout. He's very, very popular because he's young and he's a little disrespectful. He's like you if you played COD. I mean, if you played Smash, because he just runs his mouth. But this is his first time, I think, not only breaking into the top 8, but he pushed all the way to the podium and got third. And his loss at the end, I think he only lost, I have to check the results again. I think he lost to Cody and Zane, so I think his only losses were to first and second, which is huge.
Yeah.
And it may be the single best placing that Luigi as a character has ever gotten. When it comes to the caliber of the tournament, the number of players in attendance, this, Rap Monster has been said for the last year that he's the greatest Luigi player that's ever lived. And not only did this solidify him as the best Luigi, but it is the best placing Luigi's ever had. Other big thing that's being talked about from Supernova, Hungrybox, one of the former collective known as the Five Gods of Smash he's the last remaining of the old guard, was playing a random bracket set off stream. It was a close game. He popped off, which he is famous for his pop-offs, and he popped off so hard that he fainted and fell into a TV.
fell into a TV.
He fainted and fell into a TV. He pop off
Did
to
they make him pay
floor.
for the TV?
First of all, it was a CRT and he didn't knock it over. So it was
Did they
like
make him pay for it?
no,
Did
because
he
he
break
didn't.
it?
He didn't break it. No, he just almost pulled a 50-pound TV on top of him as he fell into the floor.
So he almost died.
And nobody even made an attempt to catch him. I watched the clip and they just kind of stare at him as he goes down. He goes wee.
He's probably like, what's happening?
Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. I want to see really quick if I can find Hungry Box Faints Supernova. There we go. Come on, and make it big. Whoop! On the ground. Bro folded down. So yeah, he took a nap. He won so hard that he got sleepy and he took a nap. Turn Diz up like 15%. 1 second. Allow me to do that.
And then I have a topic to talk about before we talk about EWC CoD too.
Well,
That's
do you-
That's the big topic. But
Yeah. Do you want to go into the other thing that I have to talk about first, or the other thing I have on the notes first, or do you want to talk about your thing first?
That's up to you. My thing I just came up with on the fly. Since I looked it up.
Okay, let me cross this off my notes real quick so that we can do it.
Okay.
The other, before we get into EWC, League of Legends Championship Series, LCS, North America just went into week 3. Team Liquid and Lion Esports are currently tied for first in North America, both at 3-0. It is kind of, at least from what I've seen, as somebody who's just coming back in, but from what I've seen as somebody who's just now getting back into following League of Legends esports, the better team between Lion and Team Liquid is up for debate, and it sucks because they don't play until the 6th week, the final week of LCS. So that means there's going to be a lot of hype behind week 6. Something I want to keep an eye on, though, is Cloud9, one of the LCS veterans, and between them and Dignitas, really the only of the old guard teams that are left, is sitting. But I think Cloud9 is currently solidifying themselves as a solid 3rd place in the split. And I think their only loss was to Lion Esports this week, or this split. So, EWC wise, Esports World Cup, currently being held in, it's the Versailles.
Yep. I love Versailles. I've been there.
France. I've not.
I much
been to
prefer
Europe
Versailles
ever.
over Paris. Paris, in Paris, it's just people everywhere, and you're much more likely to get pickpocketed. Versailles is just a lot it's just smaller, nicer.
What pockets are they gonna pick? Pants pockets.
Person pocket.
Hey, stop. So
Before we talk about that, I
Okay.
had a different, not EWC.
okay, go ahead. What you got?
Last week, not this past weekend, they had the Apex Legends ENC qualifiers, which ENC is the Esports Nations Cup, which is kind of like the World Cup. And Team US, Mexico, and Great Britain were chosen this past week. SPS is the team for Team USA. I believe Team Mexico is just Mexico. They're the only Mexican team I see here. And then Great Britain was the qualified teams. Here we go. Sorry. Qualified teams for for America are the SPS, Team Canada, Team Mexico, 2 TKR from Brazil, Team Argentina, N.E.W.S out of Chile. It's got to be Chile. PFKR out of Peru, Honduras ENC out of Honduras. Zeta Esports out of, that might be Peru. One of these is Paraguay. And the Mayan Empire out of Guatemala. Or Guam.
Okay.
And then EMEA, I don't know which team. I think Poland. Poland was the team that made the last chance qualifier. SPS and Poland were the two teams that made it out of the last chance qualifier. That's pretty much all I got for that.
Okay, that's cool.
The ENC starts November 25th through the 29th for the Esports Nations Cup for Apex.
That's interesting. So, the EWC for Apex was like one of the first events they did for this year, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like...
Because I think who won, the people who placed well in EWC, I think auto-qualified for ENC.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah. I know EWC coming up this week. You've got Siege, PUBG Mobile happening today, tomorrow, and the next day. And then you actually have Chess and Rocket League starting, I think, Friday and running Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And let me say, as somebody who's followed chess on the side, the esports teams sponsoring chess players, I think, is one of the coolest things in the whole world. Team Liquid Magnus Carlsen is crazy.
Team Falcons.
Hikaru Nakamura being Team Falcons is crazy, dude. I love that so much.
Yeah, Hikaru is in the same camp as Celium.
That's crazy.
For reference. Magnus Carlsen is out there with Hyde. I think Liquid owns Cloud9. Or no, that's Cloud9 is New York, not Liquid. Who's Liquid? Liquid owns... Someone will know in chat. Kyle probably know. Yeah. I don't remember.
And that leaves us with the esport that we know the best, which is EWC CoD Black Ops 7 happening last weekend. And Optic solidifying themselves as the best team in Call of Duty, period, right now. I mean, what...
I have my thoughts on that.
What major tournaments have they not won this year?
Champs. Every single major, except one, I think.
So they're only winning, like, the non-Activision tournaments?
They're winning league matches. They're not winning major tournaments. They won EWC. That was it.
They won EWC. They won something else.
They were Silver Surf. They were Silver Surfers. They won major 4 in Paris. But they were Silver Surfers, and then they won EWC. FaZe won major 2 and COD champs.
Well, FaZe got a fat.
So here's my thing. Here's my thought process on that is. FaZe won champs and partied way too much and didn't care about EWC. But they went because they're under contract and they had to go. But I don't think they were like, we won champs. I mean, to be honest, EWC, I'm in Paris. We were already in Paris.
You say that.
Party, let's celebrate.
Do you know what the prize for first place at EWC is?
Oh, I know it was a lot of fucking money.
$600,000. I don't think if you're a professional Call of Duty player, you look at a $600,000 to first place that you could win and say, nah, I'm gonna phone this one in.
I don't think they went. So that's my thing. I don't think they were like consciously doing it. I think they were just so happy about champs that they partied too much and slacked off in practice and stuff.
Yeah. So for some clarification, Optic got second at Major 1, 2, 3, and champs, but won both Paris events, M4 and EWC. But Team Heretics. So, can I say something I was excited to talk about for this? As a legacy Call of Duty fan, seeing the real team names mixed in with the CDL team names was really cool. You've got Cloud9 competing as Cloud9. You've got Optic competing as Optic Gaming. But at the same time, you've got
Esports as G2 Esports.
The London Royal Ravens, I think, were playing as
Carolina.
London. Was it? Oh, yeah, Carolina. No. Okay. But
you had what was it? FaZe Vegas was still just FaZe Vegas. I'm pretty sure.
No, they played as. I'm pretty sure they just played as FaZe. I'd have to look at the standings.
Oh no, it was just phase. That's right. It was just phase. You're right.
So now my question is, and Kai may have to help us with this in the chat. Were there any teams that showed up to EWC and placed okay that weren't established CDL teams?
P7 did well, in groups at least. I know that.
They played as FaZe Esports, he says.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
The man in the chair.
P7 did really well. With I think that was the team with Beans and Kremp, or no, Beans and Snoopy. They beat. I don't remember who they beat, but they beat a couple pro teams and their challengers team, and I can't remember the other challengers team that did really well. But there were two. I can't remember. I don't know how far, like if they made it out of groups or anything. I just know they did well enough to beat a couple of pro teams.
So I'm gonna pull up standings real quick so that I can see it. First place Optic Gaming, second place Team Heretics. What CDL team is Team Heretics?
Miami.
You had third place 100 Thieves, fourth place Team Falcons, fifth FaZe, Gentlemates, G2, Movie Star, ninth The Pit, Cloud9, Project Notorious, Team War, 13th Carolina Royal Ravens, Boston Breach, Vancouver Surge, and Omit. And I know
That's what it was. P7 and Team War. Team War beat knocked out Boston.
Yeah. But so
and P7 I think knocked out Vancouver.
4, 5, 6. You're telling me the whole top 8, even like Gentlemates and Movie Star, KOI, those are both CDL teams?
Movie Star Koi, yeah. Toronto Koi.
Now I know.
Optic Gaming is Optic Texas, obviously. Miami Heretics, LA Thieves, Riyadh Falcons, Minnesota G2, Toronto Koi, Paris Gentlemates, and then FaZe Vegas.
Okay, shows how long I've been away from the CDL that I don't recognize.
And the Pit,
60%
the
of those
Pit
teams.
is not the Pit's a Challengers team too.
Cool.
So the Pit, Team War, and P7 Notorious did all better than Carolina, Boston, and Vancouver.
Man, I just wish that the CDL would drop the facade of having to put locations.
It's not who I think it is, right? Flames. Hold on, I'm doing a Google search right now. I clicked on Flames because it's Team War and Flames. Okay, thank God, it's not Flame Sword.
I assumed that would not be Flame Sword. I would.
Yeah, I was gonna be really worried.
I'm too active in the Optic subreddit to not have heard about that.
Fair.
I just wish, like I said, I think that we lost something when Activision made the push to force
we only got
location-based teams.
Only got, I think, actually, maybe this might be the last COD. If not, we have one more after this next one for Activision to re-up their contract with the league.
Well, I mean, but if Activision doesn't re-up their contract with the league, we just lose competitive Call of Duty.
Not necessarily.
We just
lose the CDL.
But there's no governing bodies anymore. There's no MLG anymore. There's no.
But Activision could make something better than the CDL because they've learned that franchising. I mean, none of the teams are making money.
But
the only teams that are making money are FaZe, Optic maybe now because they've won so much.
That's a problem esports wide though. You're seeing that in every facet of esports right now. There was the big.
But it didn't help also because the CDL had like a $25 million buy-in.
Well,
so
yes,
you're
I agree
automatically
with that.
25 mil in the hole, and then you got to pay contracts, which Celium's making $800,000 a year. Just Celium. Like, he also, I don't know if you saw this sidebar. Celium fought, I think it was Rancor, after Heretics 4-0'd them.
Really?
Pull up the clip because you have to see it and you have to show them. Make me smaller and show the stream the clip.
That sounds awkward.
Literally, so Heretics beat who was it? Falcons. And Rancor stands up. Rancor stands up and runs to the Falcon side, sprints over to it, and you see his coach like trying to like hold him back, like, oh, hold on, maybe not a great idea.
Hold on, I've got the clip pulled up. Let me watch it real quick. I don't want to cut you off.
Make me smaller. Make me smaller.
I've got it full screen, I think.
Nobody can see
And
it though.
Rencore is running like the Flash. What happened last time is not going to go down this time. And Rencore and MC having some words for each other. Was not expecting to see that after usually the sportsmanship that the Miami Heretics usually provide.
I can translate. I can read his lips. He's talking. Hey man, you better stop that shit. You be serious.
I don't know
You don't
if
talk to me like that. You better stop talking to me like that.
that is less of a fight than what happened with Aches and H-Shot. Yeah. I mean, they didn't really fight. They one push.
He shoved.
Yeah.
I know. I didn't say they fought. I said he shoved him.
I thought you said they fought.
I said he shoved them.
If you say so.
And they were in each other's face, like they were about to fight. And everyone else is just like, good game, good game.
Oh god, I broke it.
Now we gotta figure out. Now we gotta try and figure out who's gonna what rosters are gonna be like next season.
Well, I think I don't want to jump too far past because we started a decent discussion about monetization in esports.
That's fair, yeah.
You're frozen right this second. Oh, my popped out. Okay, there we go. That's what I wanted. I wish I could full screen you in this. Can I?
Am I back? Am I
yeah.
back?
There we go. That's what I wanted right there. But so there was the big kind of COVID boom, and just before COVID even, when esports exploded, and you had all of these companies, these venture capitalist companies coming in and dumping millions and millions and millions of dollars into esports.
Literally the start of the CDL, the start of the Overwatch League,
Right.
the OWL. Yeah.
And then
We met the owner of the Atlanta FaZe and the Atlanta Reign.
yeah. And
I
it
like
just
to bring that up whenever I can.
wasn't sustainable. And so if esports as a whole is going to continue and be able to flourish, something has to be addressed, because I've realized money is one of the big things that causes esports professionals to retire. I've decided. They get bigger, they get more popular, and you're dumping all of these hours into scrimming and into solo play, regardless of what your esport is. To be competitive in anything, you have to just dump hours and hours and hours and hours.
And then you combine that with not winning as much, and then you look at streaming and you're like, if I were just streaming the amount of hours I was putting into scrimming instead, I'd be making so much more money. It's ridiculous.
Right.
And
the average Call of Duty player retires at what? 29?
27, 28.
Yeah, I think there's a while.
I think recently it's more like 29, 30.
Clay, for a while, I think was the oldest pro in the league at 32.
31.
Yeah. And then your average professional League of Legends player is making it about the same distance. But
that's the thing now. Dashy's the oldest pro now, and he's what, 27? I think.
I have no idea. You would know that.
Looking up everything. I know he's the oldest pro in the league right now.
Yeah. Faker, the standard when it comes to a professional
Longevity.
esports athlete. Not longevity. I mean, he's been the peak of League of Legends for his entire career, just 12, 13, 14 years.
Thank you, Kai. Proving me right.
But, he sets the gold standard, in my opinion, for esports as a whole, as far as what's possible, because he is the most well-known name in esports, period. And he's 30.
He's only 30?
He's only 30. He was born in May of 1996. He just turned 30. And, you have Counter-Strike players who may touch their low 30s.
But then you have Donk, who was, 15 when he became pro?
I guess I'm not sure who that is.
Donk is like the young phenom of pro CS right now.
Oh, but you have games like Super Smash Brothers. You have people, notable community members in Melee, who are like in their 40s, and it's crazy to me because Melee is. This is going to be an unpopular opinion, but Melee is more difficult to play at the high level than Call of Duty and Counter-Strike, in my opinion, as far as pure mechanical execution. And it is more difficult to play for extended periods of time. And you have people in their 40s going to Smash tournaments and playing 3 days of 8-10 hours straight of Melee and doing it every weekend. Kai says... Hook and a couple others are 26. Shotzi and others are 25. Webby is the youngest because he just turned 18 before M3.
Major 3.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say too that like the other thing about that too, the time it takes to get to that skill level. If you don't start playing when you're such a young age, you're not gonna get to your prime until you're like 23. 24, and then what, you got like 4 years, 3 years until you're retired?
People like to say that what causes esports professionals to retire is reaction times falling off. And I saw something where it was like you lose 10 milliseconds of reaction time a year. And so, but going from 20 to 30, you're losing 100 milliseconds of reaction time. That might actually be a little bit severe. Hold on. I don't remember the exact
I think it's that's either 1 second or 10 seconds. My math might be wrong.
How much does your reaction time decrease with age? 2 to 6. Your reaction time slows down by approximately 2 to 6 milliseconds per decade.
That's not... Yeah. What?
With cognitive studies like Minecraft place the overall visual processing slowdown closer to 7 milliseconds per year. Your peak reaction speed typically occurs around age 24, followed by a very gradual decline. So you're supposed to be at your fastest reaction time...
Reactions at 24.
At 24. And then you lose 7 milliseconds a year? So
that
you've got...
It's got to be... It's got to be like 7 is like... You're not like... Because there's no way like Call of Duty pros, Apex pros, like people who play professional video games and their reactions are being used and like... I guess practiced every single day. You think they're going to lose the same as the person who just does this all day?
I mean, I agree with that. But this is going the long way to say... People would say that the reason that esports professionals are so young is because of how reaction time intense it is, but there's no way. I mean, look at Formula One. You think that Formula One has a less necessity of reaction time than esports does? And the average age of like a Formula One driver or even NASCAR is in like the mid-30s, almost to early 40s?
F1 drivers have the fastest reaction times of any person on planet Earth.
Exactly.
And that my thought process. I don't think it's a reaction thing. I think that is the excuse people give. I think it's a passion thing. I think you just get to a certain age where it's like playing video games. Like it was fun. I don't find it that fun anymore. I only get on to practice and play the game and play our matches. Like I don't stream it. I'd rather be doing other things. And I think that's the biggest thing that makes people want to retire or their skill fall off is they literally aren't putting in they start playing the game when they're young and they're playing it every second they can. When they're older, they got life. They got other shit they want to do.
Right. But
I think that's the biggest issue. But with like F1 or like traditional sports, it's more like looked at as, okay, you're going to go to practice for an hour or two a day, work out an hour or two a day, and then you have your life, and then you have a game once a week. COD isn't really like that. COD is you practice for like 3 hours every day, do VOD review, like and then after that you stream for another like 7 hours, 8 hours. So you're doing that for 8 to 12 hours a day.
Right.
Whereas football, you're doing it for like maybe 2 hours a day, and then working out for maybe 1 to 2 hours.
I agree. I think that it is a workload problem. I don't know if a passion problem is the right thing. Yeah, it's burnout. It's you have to push yourself so hard to stay relevant at the top level. And I think that ties back into me saying that Melee pros are the oldest pros, in my opinion, in general. Because up until 2020, there was not a way to play Super Smash Bros. Melee online. You did not have... Are you okay?
I may or may not have slammed my ankle into my chair. Man, it's metal on the bottom. I just found that out.
Oh no, he's dying. He's dying.
Okay. You're good. Go ahead. What were you saying? I got none of what you said. I was in pain.
I said that I think your average Melee pro is older than any other esport. And I think that it has a higher population of 30 plus people playing Melee. And it's because up until 2020 there was not a way to play online. You had to get your friends
about that.
You had to get your friends together and play sitting next to somebody if you wanted to play, or you had to go to tournaments.
At all.
Yeah. It was have somebody sitting next to you on the couch, drive to your local, which most major areas have a local that fires off at least once a week. Diz made the background image, I think.
Yep. I did indeed.
Yes, the old ways were much, much better.
The old ways were simpler because it also money is, like you said, such an issue now that like. But if you're not getting paid enough, you're gonna walk away from it.
I don't even feel like it's money, because that's actually the whole way that this conversation started is talking about money and talking about the fact that money in esports is on a big decline right now and trying to fix it. But Smash pays nothing.
Yeah.
A big tournament in Smash pays like $3,000. I told you Supernova 2026 is probably the biggest tournament of the year, and I'm gonna look and see what it paid out.
I think a big issue with bigger esports like Call of Duty or look at Halo. Halo tried so hard to keep up with like Call of Duty and stuff, and now it's gone. Call of Duty is barely it's here. Who knows if it will be in a couple years? Like, it's I think mostly based off of they're trying to be more mainstream and compete with football, basketball, baseball, which
really quick
right now in our current day and age isn't, I don't think, gonna happen.
I wanted to say really quick that Supernova 2026, first place Cody Schwab, formerly IBDW, payout for first place $2,400.
Damn.
EWC Call of Duty first place
no,
600 grand.
What's last place?
25 grand, I think, is what it was. I had it pulled up just a minute ago. And
Last place, you get 10 times the amount as first place in the Smash tournament.
Yeah, exactly. Chat just said it.
Just make
best.
it out of pool play.
Smash players play for the love of the game. If they wanted money, there's easier ways to do it gaming. And that's what I was going to say. That's why the age of Smash players is so much higher, is they're doing it because they want to be there. It's not just a job. If they were going to do it as a job, they're going to do it as something else.
With Call of Duty and all these other esports wanting to be more mainstream, that comes with bigger prize pools, bigger stakes, bigger events. with Smash, they don't care about that. They're just like, we're playing a 20-year-old game. I'm just happy it works.
and I think that is something that these companies that are pushing major esports are missing, and it sucks because the solution to this is to stop names from retiring. But just like everything else that has to do with online content creation, which is how we get people like Mr. Beast and Kai Cenat and iShowSpeed, is they're pushing spectacle. They want eyes, so they're trying to make this the biggest, flashiest, craziest thing that they can do. And I think back to my most invested points I have been in esports. Across all esports. I followed League. I followed StarCraft. I followed, briefly, Counter-Strike. I followed Melee forever.
I completely forgot StarCraft was an esport. It's
still played.
Okay.
When I was the most invested, it's because there was conflict that I wanted to see how it resolved. My most devoted I was to watching Call of Duty esports was Call of Duty Ghosts. And it was back when every team was trying to beat complexity. And you had these guys grinding 2K tournaments every week, and it was always, are we going to beat complexity? Are we going to beat complexity? Are we going to beat complexity? But
well, and that's where, because I'm sorry to interrupt, but you do kind of have that, because for a while it was, can we make a team to beat FaZe? Because they had Celium, Simp, and Abisi. And then Optic came into power. And now it's, can we build a team to beat Optic? But it's not what it was in the old days in that sense at the same time, because in the old days it was, you and me could look at each other and be like, we're going to grind 2Ks, we're going to grind these tournaments, and we're going to try and beat complexity, because it was not behind a $25 million paywall. It was, you go into the tournament and you compete. And if you're good, you make it through.
There was more to it than that, though, because you had Ace, who was just running his mouth the whole time. The personalities were so big that it got you invested in who was going to win. And
and you also can't, I feel like you had, people, they're, you gotta be honest. They were more carefree with what they said back then. Now you kind of have to.
I mean, that's true, but I think that you can have those moments and still be decently politically correct.
I'm not saying politically correct. I think people didn't care about being each other's friends as much. They genuinely didn't like each other. Now it's more like you had Draza and Scrap for a minute that legitimately they hated each other. But now, literally everyone, it's kind of, I feel old saying this. It's kind of like what, I don't remember who said it, but there was a sports person who was talking about the NBA, and they're like, oh, I think it might have been Larry Bird. He was talking about today's NBA, and he's like, we actually hated each other back in the day. Everyone nowadays, they're all friends. We actually, genuinely did not like you when we were, whether we were playing against you or not. If you were on the Celtics, we were on the Lakers, we hated you.
Right.
And
we got, we dived into Call of Duty tangent because we do that. But I had other examples. My time I was the most invested in League of Legends was North American LCS has never performed well at international events. Ever. And the whole North American community were pushing, trying to find a team that could challenge these international powerhouses. And we built a team that was supposed to be like the Dynasty Optic team. It was supposed to have the best North American players at every position that you could get in an attempt to build a super team, not to dominate domestically, because we weren't as concerned with that, but we wanted a team that could go out and represent us correctly in North America. And that was the point I was the most devoted to watching League of Legends, because I wanted to see if this super team that we built had the potential to go out and upset,
Dominate the world.
yeah, not even dominate, but it, like, you don't follow League of Legends. You know the name Faker, but you don't exactly get it, right?
Mm-hmm. No.
Faker himself has more world championships. No, I'm sorry. I think the stat is Faker has more wins at Worlds than any individual region that's not Korea.
Oh yeah, I do remember you. I think I remember that.
The stats, you could cut his career in half because he changed teams halfway through his career, and either side of his career has an argument
It's
for
a
being
Hall of Fame.
Yeah, has an argument for being the greatest player of all time without the other half.
But he's both.
But he's both. Yeah, and that's the thing. You're never going to dominate T1. It's not going to happen. But we just wanted a chance. And then Super Smash Brothers. You know, there was the era of the 5 gods of Melee, where the only players that had any potential to win a major level tournament were 5 people. And if one of them were in attendance, one of them was going to win. Yeah. And
I know one.
Go ahead.
Mango.
Yes, Mango. Hungrybox, the guy that fainted. So it was Mango, Hungrybox, Armada, PPMD, and Mewtwo King. He was Dr. PP before. He changed his name to PPMD.
I remember that. I remember you saying that.
And Armada, there's always, there were these moments, these spans of a year to 18 months where one of the 5 gods would eke out the other ones. And if it was a matter of who is going to be the person to knock him out. And, all of them had a shot. And then there was this level of players that was just a step below, that was Leffen, Plup, SFAT, Wizrobe, who it was, can this tier 3, or I guess tier 2, break into that first tier, and can any of these first tier players knock this guy off the top? But everybody was talking smack online and running their mouths, and there was the Mangoku calls out Left Frieza for killing Krillin Dude, like
What?
Okay, so Apex, I think it was Apex 2016. Chillin' Dude is a old school player. He was, when I say old school, he was like hosting the home tournaments in 2001 when the game came out. He is one of the foundational pillars of Super Smash Brothers. Obviously, as the game progressed, people got better, and he couldn't keep up. And he started some Twitter beef with a guy that was on that second tier right below the 5 gods of Melee, who was like kind of a tournament threat, but it would have been a huge upset if he won, named Leffen. And they both played Fox. And so finally they're like, we're going to play a money match, a best of 13 on stream at this tournament, and the winner is going to retire their Fox color forever and have to pick a new color Fox.
Oh, you told me all about this when we worked together, and I forgot completely all about it.
And so, like, Chillin' Dude started making diss tracks and all this other stuff, like Respect Your Elders.
Yeah.
And the tournament shows up, and they play, and Leffen 7-0s him. And this is before the tournament started. This is like a kickoff thing in like the first day of bracket.
Like basically for fun, but not really for fun.
So
a grudge match.
Yeah, so Chilla Dude walks off the stage defeated. Mango jumps up from the crowd, takes the microphone and says, look, you come to America, because Leffen's Swedish. He's like, you come to America, you body my boy. We don't do that here. If I play you in bracket, we're going to put $1,000 on it. And Leffen was like, deal. So then the whole talk of the tournament is, are they going to play for this $1,000 and who's going to win? And they ended up playing in, I think, semis. and Leffen 3-0'd him.
Oh my god.
And it resulted in one of my favorite interviews of all time, where Mango sits down at the interview desk and they hand him the microphone. He's like, "How you feeling today?" He's like, "Dude, sometimes you sit down to play this game and you play the best melee in the world and you're a champion. Sometimes you go out like a buster." And I went out like a buster today. But
That's really corny. I'm not gonna lie.
it was really cool in the moment. You'd have to
In the moment,
You got to
back
be
in the
there.
day.
You got to be there. This is 10 years ago.
We're all not 80.
Yeah. Long story short, they are trying to build spectacle with money. And I think if that investment went into the talent,
The people, yeah.
and developing personal storylines and relationships with players and wanting people to succeed, and less, hey, here's $5 million, come watch this, I think the esports would be in a different place. I don't think that... Yeah. I think that the players need to be able to make enough money to make a living. They want to succeed. You want this to be something for the 13, 14, 15-year-old kids to aspire to do.
I have a question.
Okay.
Esports as a whole is struggling, right?
Yeah.
How come in Japan and Korea the esports players are paid the most money and they're the most famous celebrities and they play in the biggest stadiums to the biggest crowds?
Oh, dude. The BTS, the biggest K-pop band in Korea, had to go on a 2-year hiatus because their members were selected for mandatory military leave. But Faker dodged it. Faker was famous enough that he was able to dodge his mandatory military leave.
Yeah.
They elevate their players to that superstar status, and we don't really do that. But at the same time, they kind of narrow in on singular esports. Yes, League of Legends is
their countries are basically all League of Legends, Dota 2, Smite,
Yeah, well, but I mean, even then, I think Korea, League of Legends is crazy popular, and for a while StarCraft was, but I don't even think StarCraft is that crazy popular because the best player in the world in StarCraft right now is Cyril, and I think that I'd have to double check this. I think he's Swedish. I don't think Japan's that big in esports right now. I can't think of an esport that they really play, or at least not that they are heavy favorites in. I can't think of a Japanese esports player.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know I think that it's a big thing in Korea.
Yeah, I guess I just kind of grouped Japan in because I feel like they would have been.
Cyril is Finnish. Thank you. Cyril is Finnish.
Let's go.
It was a Scandinavian country.
W. I'm Finnish. Kai's Finnish.
I think we're just about ready for the news to be finished. Because I can continue to ramble on about storylines and prize pools, but
I will say in future shows we will have a top 10 plays, stuff like that. We literally talked about this Thursday, Friday?
Yeah, this was a first attempt at something that is going to be a regular thing, and we'll get more polished with every episode. I also think we should start doing a guest. So if there's a major esports event, bring somebody in that we know that is more fluent in that esport.
Yeah.
That maybe to help us understand a little bit of the ins and outs that we don't know. And I think that we'll also end up diving more into what was I going to say?
We would be pulling from all the games. They would be just a top 10 plays of the week, not just top 10 Call of Duty plays. It would just be top 10 plays of the week.
What I was
esports.
What I was going to say is I think this week is a little bit busier than usual for an esports week because we have EWC going on. We had the big Smash tournament for this weekend. So not every episode. In other episodes, we should be able to focus more in on a single event and not try and spread ourselves so thin. This just happens to be a big weekend for the news.
Mm-hmm. But I don't have anything else to add.
No. So I think we're going to wrap up this episode of the news for this week, and we will see you all next Monday.
Peace.
I'm not going to turn the stream off yet, but we can cut the video there.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
And then let's go to the other call. I'm turning off my camera. Take me off your stream. What did Kai DM me? Oh, Kai DM me saying, let me join in special guesty.
I actually considered that, but I wasn't sure if, with it being our first episode, if we needed to special guest yet.
I didn't think it'd be a good idea, right?
Oh, wow.
I'm glad the same idea as me mid-sentence.
Yeah, man.
It took me way too long to realize you guys were still doing the stream, but in the other chat.
That's funny.
So yeah, that was the news.
That was the news.
It's 7 o'clock. Do I want to try and play any more games tonight? Should I hop on COD for a little bit, or should I just turn the stream off?
Ooh, yes. Hop on COD a little bit. Why would you get off
for S&D right now.
What are you doing tomorrow? Nothing?
Well, I'm streaming. Tomorrow is my big stream. Tomorrow's the one where I'm doing the giveaway, where I'm giving away packs of Pokemon cards and packs of Magic cards if I can figure out how to set the bot up for that. I'm no longer doing the news tomorrow, but I do have a couple of other things I'm planning on doing tomorrow. But I do want to have a big stream tomorrow.